Hello, hello, hello. I do have everyone set and muted this time just because the last time I did one of these, it got kind of bombed. I'm not sure, Wade, if you remember that or not, but just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Awesome, awesome. What's up, Ian? How are you? Okay, let's have it shared this one. Some people we're going to be waiting on before I start. But other than that, I have some exciting news that I'm going to announce at the very end of this um, meeting, end of this call. I'm kind of going to go through this whole presentation that I put together for everyone. And yeah, so basically, I'm going to go through this presentation. Um, I'm not going to get too into it right now, just because I know that we're still waiting on a lot of people. We are a little bit early. And oh, I did also just get sent access to um, owning other groups inside of Meetup. So I'm going to be able to host meetings for other types of meetups now, which is pretty cool to do. There's one called ATX. I think it has to do with just tech and entrepreneurs. It's kind of like a networking one rather than an AI related one, like the one that we're in here. I'm just going to get a quick video in here real quick. Let's see. How multi-agent frameworks will impact the future of business operations. Hop into the Zoom call. We're all in. We're loading in. School group. Oh, yep. Yep. That's we'll talk about it when we get there, but I think it's gonna be really, really awesome what I've been putting together. A lot of different content, a lot of resources, a lot of blueprints. Not able to talk here. Just checking. Oh yeah, I set it to it mutes everyone because the last time I did this, like 3 weeks ago, I kind of got bombed by a bunch of people. So I'm gonna wait until maybe like 5 after just to see, make sure we got the right kind of people in here rather than getting bombed again. Just learning from my mistake, right? Thank you. Things we can about. So I am actually really excited to go over what presentation I put together today. I think it's going to be really valuable for all of you to kind of see what my perspective has been with AI agents and where I think these frameworks are going to really impact business operations overall. Um, just in what I do myself personally in my business, where I help work with businesses and I automate their operations, their client acquisition, service delivery, client onboarding, client retention, the whole gist of it. And I've just kind of seen where is the bubble and where is not the bubble, because there's a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people who will use AI in their offer or use AI agent specifically in what they're talking about. but they're not actually implementing any tools with their agent. So like, I'm going to go over in a topic here. I'm not going to get all into it right now, but there's a topic that has to do with custom GPTs, chatbots, and AI agents, and what the difference is between all of these, because some people tend to get them kind of mixed up. And AI for self-help Remedy. I do the same stuff, by the way, using BMC software called Remedy. That's awesome. Yeah. There's a bunch of softwares. I'm going to go over them on here as well. I'm going to showcase some things, some examples, some other developers that are popular that I've been following that are really, really smart people. And just some other frameworks that I feel like not a lot of people fully know about. Because like I've been to other meetups, I've been to other events where I've seen people talk about AI agents and how AI agents are gonna, do certain things, but it's almost as if they're missing like 50% of what is actually happening with AI agents. And that's the part that really brought me to come to this event today and showcase this information that I put together for everyone here. This is about almost 20 slides, 22 slides. It's nothing crazy because like some of the slides, like 3 of them or 4 of them are like part of the same thing. I just kind of made it zoomed in so you guys could see it better rather than seeing all the little text. Because like I mentioned, I've seen all the other people's presentations. I kind of understood where are their flaws, right? Where's the part that they didn't, I wish they should have talked about, right? I'm going to basically be going over that today. So I'm just going to give it another maybe 5 minutes here and make sure we got everyone that is available to hop in to the call before I get started. I know I always usually get some people to show up a little late. I'm going to grab the meeting link real quick. I'm going to post it on my Instagram just to double check. And I will allow everyone to unmute the mic at the very end of the meeting so that we can all kind of just converse on all this from everything we went over. And this is also going to be posted on my YouTube channel. So you will be able to rewatch this. My YouTube channel is just my name. It's Roberto H. Luna, just for those who are in here now. Okay. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get some people to show up late, but I want to respect everyone who came in here at the right time. And I'm going to kind of get started now here. I guess we'll give it another 30 seconds or so. I am getting some messages saying, hey, I'm going to come in. So let me just hold on a minute here. Okay, here we go. So thank you everyone for your time and being here and your patience for the past few minutes here. I'm now going to go over how multi-agent frameworks will impact the future of business operations. This is a very important topic that I believe everyone should at least have a more than a general understanding over. And let me just drag this over here from the Zoom real quick. And I'm going to start off with explaining a little bit about what are AI agents, what do they actually do, what are some examples. Here we have, they are autonomous software entities that perform tasks on behalf of users. They operate based on predefined rules and can learn from interactions to improve their performance over time. Now, something very important that I've seen a lot of people miss that they don't explain when they talk about AI agents is agents normally have tools. So they normally have something that makes them more powerful than like a basic chatbot. Like a basic chatbot is just something that you query with and you can type to, text with, and it responds to you. But an AI agent can actually perform a task. And a task usually requires accessing a specific tool or editing a specific software. So it needs to actually go into your computer or go into a software, go into a tool, and perform an actual task for it to be defined as an AI agent, at least in my book. Here we have some examples of Crew AI, Agency Swarm, Praizion, and Claude Engineer. Now, Claude Engineer isn't necessarily a library, kind of like Crew AI, Praizion, and Agency Swarm. These you can find on GitHub. These are open source libraries that anyone can use. They're completely free. Everything that I'm showcasing here is things that you can use right now. So this Claude Engineer, for example, it helps with coding. It's almost like an AI agent that, I don't know if some of you have seen in one of my previous videos. I did not build it. There is someone, I believe his name is something Peter Scarano. I could be wrong, but he created another thing called Myestro, which is like an agent framework that allows you to almost infinitely generate whatever you want to create. Like it's like an auto GPT, if that makes sense. But at the very end of this, I am giving credit to him, and there will be a link to his repository for the Claude Engineer and the Myestro, so you guys can check these tools out. Next, the benefits of AI agents. All right, what is the whole point of all this stuff? Why do we need them? So AI agents can be tailored to specific tasks and business needs, ensuring that they can integrate seamlessly into our workflows. Now that's super, super important because if you can't implement these agents into your workflows, what really are they there for? Just to chat with? I don't think so. We need them to actually play a part, play a role, right? That's the whole point of this. Play a role within our business. Now, efficiency is that it helps us save time by automating routine and repetitive tasks, right? It could be email replies, customer inquiries, content creation, data entry, scheduling. There's so many different small tasks that can easily be, 80% of the time can get cut from what you had to originally spend on that task originally. And fine tuning is probably the most valuable part that you can do to any AI model, any AI agent for that matter, which allows you to, now I have an example here, but this allows you to train your agent and improve it over time based on the feedback and the performance data that you're getting. So by watching it, now this is in a simple form. A lot of people say, oh yeah, you're training, okay? The actual training part sometimes is just watching the outputs maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 times until you decide, okay, you know what? I don't like the way the output was here. Maybe I have to change something in another agent, or something's going on with the prompt, or maybe something's going on with the tool. Like there's always different things that could be considered fine tuning. And I want to just make sure that for those of you that are in here, or for those who are watching that are not fully experienced with building AI or coding for that matter, I want you to understand that there's actually more simple ways of fine tuning or creating guidelines for your agents to stay in one line. And of course, do your task. Now, building and customizing AI agents. There's platforms like Relevance AI, Make.com, Crew AI, Agency Swarm, Zapier, and Langflow. These are just some examples of like coded and no coded versions that you can put together. Here, I put a little bit of some examples of how you can actually use them either in code or in no code. Okay, so here we have Zapier, the one on the right. I'm not sure if everyone is super familiar, but Zapier is a platform where you can connect different tools. Remember, the tools is so important, okay? And here you can see conversation with assistant in ChatGPT. This one over here is just creating documents and SOPs from when someone fills out a form. Now, when we come over here to auto content creator, this one will automatically create content. As you can see here, we're using Perplexity AI to help generate some research for the content that we're going to be doing. And then we have different, I guess you could call them agents here because they're using tools, okay? So they're assistants within the OpenAI assistance platform, right? Where you're able to prompt them and create them and give them an extra knowledge base or a tone of voice, for example. And then here we have an email responder classifier. This one will essentially view an incoming email and create a response based on the classification of that email. And of course, when you're coding things, you need to have either an API key or you can run them locally using platforms like Olama as far as your agents go. So as far as like code and other examples, like I mentioned, just wait till the end and you're going to see some examples that are already built for you that you're going to be able to implement yourself today or tomorrow, really whenever they're already complete. Hello to the person who just joined in. I didn't really get to see your name there, but this is the probably most important slide I'm going to go over here, which is the real difference between AI agents, custom GPTs, and chatbots. Now I'm going to read what I wrote down here. Number one, AI agents, autonomous entities performing multiple tasks, automating processes, capable of learning and adapting. Example, managing customer service workflows, including data entry and scheduling. Custom GPTs, specialized chatbots, trained for specific tasks, providing advanced RAG generation. So that is just retrieval augmented generation, which in other words is when you give a PDF or in fancy terms, embedding or a vector database to your model, and you will have it query that information so that it can use it in its context. If that makes sense. It's able to give you an output based on your information. Chatbots are rule-based AI models where you can upload FAQs from a website or different information about a website, and it's able to just answer questions about a business or answer questions about a software. There's really not there's not that many tools, but I always want to make sure that you guys can differentiate the two or the three. All right, because you're going to hear this a lot in the AI space. Of course, this depends how involved you are in AI, but you're going to hear people say, "Oh, I built an agent for this. I built an AI for this. I have not everyone wants to use the word chatbot or GPT because they know that it's basic, right? They know that it's not that complicated. So always, when you hear someone tell you that they're building an AI agent, ask them what tools are they integrated with? What tool does your agent utilize as well? What other tools does it integrate with where it can help me perform a task? Because that is what an AI agent should do. Next. This is the GPT Store. This is what it looks like. These are GPTs. You can see PDF AI, Consensus, Vermore. And then over here on the left, you can see some of the custom GPTs that I've built before. I have built at this exact moment in time about 87 of them. They are useful to chat with your information. You can integrate them with tools and turn them into AI agents, but they don't come as an AI agent, pre-built. It's not how it works. Here you can see what I was explaining. Here you can see his username is Dorian Darko. I'm pretty sure that's just his username. I think his real name is something else. But he built this framework that is called Myestro. And this allows you to we can read it down here, utilizes two AI models, Opus and Haiku, to break down an objective into subtasks, execute each subtask, and refine the results into a cohesive final output. So just basically imagine one agent is creating the task, one agent is giving the output to the task, and then the original agent is going to review what the Haiku model, in this example, is going to review the Haiku model and what the work it created, and whether it's going to review the work that it created and whether or not it is on par with what it originally said. And if it is, or if it isn't, it's going to continue telling it, hey, refine this, fix this, there's a bug here, blah, 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 and so forth and so forth. Now we're going to go into the impact on business processes. Okay. This is like kind of like a four-step process, mainly to almost every structure that I've seen so far. I've seen AI agents help a lot with client acquisition, as far as coming up with AI personalized emails with AI agents. That's one of the big use cases that I've seen that really save a lot of time. I've seen it can help analyze data. It can help create content, right? And that helps acquire clients. Now, as far as onboarding, you can see here, it can help put together the documentation. It can help organize your information, like I showed in the previous slides before. And you're even able to do follow-ups with these agents and send emails to your people without having to manually do so. And like I mentioned, this is a four-step process. So we get here to service delivery. I'm not sure why this image isn't loading, but when we get here to service delivery, you can see we have this part is connected with the one above somewhat. And this also is connected with service delivery because when you are onboarding a client, this form here, for example, is using the different agents to generate documents based on the way they filled out the form. So you can send them a huge onboarding form or a 15-question onboarding form, use that information, give it to the agents to then create something for you that's now tangible, right? Rather than just a form that you can just read and be like, oh, okay, yeah, forget about it. You actually can create resources from your forms now. So having a system and automation like this for your agents is so valuable. It saves so much time. And as far as client retention, this is like an automation that allows your agents to respond to your emails and send emails on your behalf. Now, of course, over time, you're going to need a fine-tuned model to do this. You can't just, trust ChatGPT to write all your emails and send them and make sure that they're all on par with the way you're going to respond, right? So we got to make sure we're fine-tuning. I'd say this process takes 30 days to 60 to 90 days, just kind of depends as far as the use cases that this is making, right? But the impact overall is these four structures, which mainly make up a business, which, client retention, keeping your clients, getting referrals from them, service delivery, your onboarding, bringing them onto your company, and your client acquisition, as far as getting them to even work with you to begin with. Like almost the whole thing is being impacted by agents. And here I have a framework that I put together that a lot of people that currently work with me have implemented. It's called the Excel framework. We start with automating, customizing, consolidating, elevating, and leveraging. Now here we have streamline and automate repetitive tasks to save time and reduce errors. Example is AI agents handling data entry, scheduling, customer inquiries. So the main things, automating all the basic things that we can automate, and then customizing. We have to make sure that it meets our specific business needs. We're not just building agents, or we're not just implementing agents or AI for no reason, for random outputs. We need to make sure that it's personalized for what you're already doing, either in your business or in your personal brand or in your life. It really, AI can really impact so many things. Consolidating is so important when it comes to making sure your tools, your existing systems work seamlessly with your agents. That's super, super important, making sure it's all integrated. And then elevating is making sure that your current business processes, you take those, you put together AI, you combine them and go, how can we get this result? You always want to look for the result, because the process, that's no longer the hurdle. Now the hurdle at this point is being able to work with no code. I mean, a lot of people don't have so much experience, but it's just so easy to get involved with. So the elevating part of the Excel framework is now so much easier to get started with. And leveraging is where you actually take everything that you put together and using that to create now resources, to create now assets, to create things with your agents, with your automations, to help you in creating more value in your business or in your personal brand. Because now that you have all these automations, you have now gained back something in which is so valuable that it's called time. It's so valuable. Here you can see it: automate, customize, super important, these two here. Consolidate, elevate, and leverage. These three here are bundled up really, really tightly. Super important to make sure we have these. Now, I do want to mention once again, I am going to be giving the link to the slides in case I'm going too fast. You just make it all the way to the end, and I will put the link to the slides at the very end of this. So that way you can go through this on your own, either by yourself, or of course you can review the video. Now, real world use cases. These are, once again, when I was building this presentation, I was thinking to myself, is this somewhat repetitive? Am I somewhat saying, the same thing over and over again? But then I realized it's not that I'm saying the same thing over and over again. It's that there's only so many things you can really do when it comes to business operations. Okay. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So we have, I'll get to your question, Daniel, or to what you mentioned. I'll get to it near the end. The real world use cases we have are content creation, building fine-tuned models to create blogs, social media posts, marketing content, articles, honestly, the whole output. Like, let's think about it for a second. Everything on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, most of it's been touched by AI. A lot of it has. And a lot of people don't know that actually, but it has. There's just so much. And before it used to be quality, but now it's how can we get a quantity of content that is quality? And you can do that now with AI rather than just being quality and not quantity. You know what I mean? So then we have our business process automations. Like I was showcasing earlier, we have SOP creation, data entry, classification automations. That way we can kind of have everything really streamlined, right? And it increases the operational efficiency and reduces errors in the business. It keeps us in a system. Make sense? And then the client acquisition part is having the agents actually analyze customer data to put together email content for them, which is super important because you want to be personalized. We don't want to be sending people generic emails. You don't want to send generic LinkedIn messages, Instagram DMs. Using the AI to go and do research on your client, on your behalf, or whoever your ICP is, and then be able to put together a good quality personalized message for them for either outreach or even building a relationship is such an important use case for AI agents. And down here, you can kind of see a little bit of an example of how agents work together. You see the design team communicates with the coding team communicates with the testing team communicates with the documenting team. So of course, it all depends on your business model and what type of business you have, what kind of personal brand you have. These agents will vary, but having them in place, very, very useful. Now, here I wanted to show you guys a real AI caller use case of one of my AI callers that I've built for my clients for landmark acquisitions is a real estate AI that can actually make phone calls on the behalf of the business calling homeowners. So I'm just going to play this for 30 seconds. You can kind of listen to the way the AI works. Oh, wait. Actually, can you guys let me know if you can hear this? You guys can't hear it? No problem. Let me see how I can figure out how you guys can hear it. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna make it so you guys can hear it. Oh, it's just low? Yeah, I hear it too. It is kind of low. I don't know why it's like that. Let's see. Yeah, there's no volume button on here. Long story short, the AI agents are getting to that point where you can't really tell the difference between if it's a person as much as if it was an AI. Now, I have tested this, of course, on my own with leads, with cold leads, and they can't tell. And the super valuable part about AI is being able to have it do the greeting for you. Okay. Like, let's just say you're a law firm. The agent takes the call. I'll give you an example. I worked with a law firm here in Austin, Texas, that they don't have someone on the phones 24 hours, right? And the AI caller will essentially answer and book the appointment, answer the questions, blah, blah, blah. But now this image here is kind of showcasing where we're able to actually move the agent to other agents for other types of conversations, or even move it to a real person. You see, now the agent is helping the actual people rather than being the front, rather than being the one that's kind of like, how would you say, being, I don't want to use the word gatekeeper, but it's somewhat being the, what's the word? Can someone help me with this word? It's like the not the front of the house, somewhat like like they're just not gonna be able, my point is they're not gonna be able to tell that it's an AI in the beginning, and therefore they're gonna be glad that they Mizeni. No, I'm not sure. I don't think that's the word. But they're going to be glad that someone answered the phone. And then when they tell them, hey, I'm going to be able to transfer you to another person, that really helps when it comes to these agents. And RDM, front desk, lobby, you're getting close. You're getting close. It's kind of like, I don't want to use the word like uh not first interaction, but like first initial reputation, something like that. Like the first interaction with the business. I think that's what I was looking for. So yeah, help desk type deal. So, all right, I'm going to move on to this part here now. So the future of AI agents in business, adoption trends, competitive advantage, market projections. Okay. Increasing adoption of AI agents in various industries like retail, healthcare, finance, agencies, consultants, startups, right? These agents that people are implementing right now in their business will become more capable, more sophisticated of handling more complex tasks and making more autonomous decisions as they continue to fine tune them. And the competitive advantage that we're going to see is businesses that adopt these agents early are going to gain a really significant edge in efficiency, innovation, and customer satisfaction. And honestly, they're just going to have better systems put in place. They're going to have almost like a business Bible. They're going to be able to show any sort of investor, if they ever want to exit their company, that they have everything in one place. It's automated. Here's the documentation. This is our EBITDA, that the whole thing. They'll have everything. And this is going to continue to advance with the technology, right? So we're going to move over here to market projections. The AI market is expected to grow significantly with more businesses investing in AI solutions. This impact is going to cause AI agents to outperform competitors in operational efficiency and market responsiveness. So those who aren't using it, we'll put it like this. It's gonna be a tough time. It's gonna be a tough time. We'll probably see protests, Now, this is probably the most important part. It's how to get started with AI agents. Now, this is a little bit of the page that I was mentioning earlier, Relevance AI. You can build a workforce. This is all no code. This is for operational sequences, if that makes sense. If you come to that section of Relevance AI, where it says agents, you'll actually find different examples that they've already built, like templates. Like I mentioned, you're going to find there's a lot of templates on a lot of platforms, okay? These templates are very close to the only main, like the bare minimum use cases. That's what a lot of these companies are doing from what I've seen. A lot of businesses are building templates for free of the basic things, like a BDR, for example, something simple. But the things that are going to take time to put together are more custom, right? For your specific workflow, what you're building, what your company does. If you don't have it put together, if it's something that isn't in a template, there's definitely going to be some sort of expertise needed. Now here, you're going to determine what specific areas of your business can benefit from agents. You're going to look for the repetitive tasks, data analysis needs, and customer service opportunities. That's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing is choose the right platform. Crew AI, Make.com, Relevance AI, Zapier, there's tons of them. Okay. You got to make sure you pick the one that connects with your tools the best. Okay. It doesn't always have to be the cheapest, but it needs to connect with your tools the best. Some platforms don't always connect with all your tools, but some of them do. And that's why it's important to find those that do. And 3 is starting small. You want to implement these agents in a single department first, right? Or a specific task so you can monitor the effectiveness and then slowly make adjustments as needed, right? Now, this is part of that fine-tuning kind of process that some people get. It's very simple. And then scaling up is gradually expanding the use of agents based on initial success and feedback that you get from your team, from your output, from the documents that you've generated, and more, right? And an example is rolling them out across different departments, having the whole system put together, kind of like this here, part of your client acquisition, your onboarding, your service delivery, client retention, that whole spiel. I suggest you start with one. I suggest you either start with it's not in this example, but like content creation is like the easiest one, in my opinion. I definitely think that's the easiest thing anyone should start with. Now, in conclusion, we are now near the end. I have this acronym: RUN, recap, urgency, next steps. The recap is AI agents. They're autonomous software entities that perform tasks and learn from your interactions, right? When I say learn, I mean you're learning, you're seeing it, you make the changes, but you can also have the agent learn on its own by having a memory. Then the benefits are customizability, efficiency, and enhanced creativity. This will help you create new ideas. Now, what my next YouTube video that you're going to see is how you can 10x your ideas. So stay tuned for that. I built an automation with some agents that will help you when you put in an idea. It'll help you enhance it with agents and put together a document. So all in one button. We'll see here. Building and customizing various frameworks and local platforms. We basically went over all the platforms that will help you. Zapier, Make.com. Urgency. Emphasize the need for adopting AI agent frameworks. I'm going to emphasize it. This is so important that if you do not do this, if you do not have any sort of agent that is, quite frankly, like I mentioned earlier, a base task, if you don't have agents either aiding your base task, it doesn't have to be replacing, okay? Because I know a lot of people get a little worried about that and they go, oh, I don't think it can replace anyone. You still need to have it there. Okay, you still need to have it at least giving you 50%, even if it's saving you 50% of your time. I guarantee that there's people out there who are $200 an hour, $500 an hour that would be glad to save $250 for their time of 30 minutes of not having to do something. Make sense? So there's a lot of these advancements that we're going to be seeing. GPT-5 is coming out in a few months. I actually think this week, you guys are going to see some of the biggest changes in AI that the world has ever seen, in my opinion. I think this week specifically, OpenAI is releasing to its users the platform for the voice platform. I'm almost positive that this week they're rolling it out for everyone. I mean, they said they were going to do it in the fall, right? But I think I saw Sam Altman was tweeting saying that he was going to do it for this week. And I think that's huge. You're going to see people literally talking with their AI agents. And I mentioned the GPTs, you can connect them to tools. So just imagine you have your AI, you're talking to your AI, and you can say, hey, change my calendar in Google, blah, blah, blah. It can do that for you. Okay. Like there's things like that can easily replace other tools like Motion and just other AI calendars, right? Or even, hey, I need you to create a document off of this. The AI will do it, put it to you. And the difference is now it sounds more like a person. They added a little bit of emotion into it. I think definitely stay tuned for that. I think it's coming out this week from what Sam Altman said. Now, we're going to come here. The next steps. Explore AI agents for your business. and start implementing them from what we discussed. And here are other resources and some links that you guys are probably going to use. So you can either take a screenshot or just wait until I give you the link here at the bottom. I'm going to grab that link here real quick for everyone, and you'll be able to kind of go through the entire slides yourself. So here, let me put it in the chat. And at the very end, you're going to get these links here. So here we have the Myestro link. This is a framework. Now, most of this here it's all free. And this is also a ChatGPT advanced prompt guide. So for those who don't necessarily know how to prompt or put certain things together when it comes to talking with AI models, here, let me start. Oh, is it fully sharing? Yeah, it is. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can see my whole screen. But it kind of explains to you here different parts, act as, role, create task, show as, giving it a format. There's a lot of value here that I decided I'd like to give you guys here at the very end. That way you guys at least gain something a lot other than just knowledge. I want you to start implementing this in your workflows, in your day-to-day life, in your business. And the easiest way you're going to do that is by starting here. Start by learning how to prompt. Like if I had to start all over again, I would learn how to prompt. I would learn no code. I would learn how to use Python. I would learn how to use JavaScript. And then I would start with my link here that says lunavate.com, download AI systems, where it's going to take you to my Notion. And in my Notion, you can kind of see our previous meetings, things we talked about. And I would go to other people's GitHubs, the best people. I would try do as much research as possible on who is the best AI agent developer out there right now, right? Like I've built my own agents, I've built my own frameworks, but I know that there's people older than me who have spent more time on this, right? And I'm willing to understand, hey, this person knows more. I'm going to go to them. I'm going to learn from them. And that's something really important that I believe everyone should be able to do, right? Now we're going to come here, Crew AI as well. This is just that framework. This is public. So I'm going to click on it. I don't know if it's going to fully go there. Let's see. Yeah, Crew AI here is public. It's got 18,000 stars. You're able to come and see how their framework works. I really, really encourage everybody. This is so important. I don't know if everyone does this or not, but when you first go to learn something that you've never learned before, when it comes to coding, read everything on their README. Everything. Like, go through the whole thing. Go to their links. Find out everything there is to know about the platform before you get started on it. Because some people will get started and then they'll have some questions about some things, but then when you come here to the README, you'll find the answer right away. Now, I know it sounds like common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people skip it. And I'm just throwing it out there for you guys. Just throwing it out there. But overall, this is another thing you're going to need here. This is AutoGPT, and this is a fine-tuned formatter. This will help you fine-tune your data. It's something that I coded, I put it together, and it allows you to give it an AI response, user response, system response, and use that data to then train in a fine-tuned model for something specific when it comes to context-wise, if that makes sense. But overall, that is essentially my presentation on AI agents and how I see it's going to impact business operations, and just my way of encouraging everyone to get started is putting together these types of meetings and trying to get as much resources and information to those who are really interested in getting started. And I'm really glad for each and every one of you for taking the time, the 30, 40 minutes, an hour that you took out of your day to come here and listen to me give this presentation. I just want you to know I really appreciate that. And I really hope you guys learned something from this. So now what I'm going to do, let's see what we got here. Vendor catalog, contract manager, parallel business. So what I'm going to do now is if you have any questions, go into the chat and type in what your question is, and then I will unmute you. And then when I unmute you, we can kind of go through it. or maybe I can just unmute everybody. Hopefully everyone in here is, how would you say? I think that's a better idea. You know, I'm trying to put together a community. I'm not a, you know what I mean? Let me make it so that everyone can talk. Hold on a second here. Let's see. Actually, I think I can just do it manually, kind of. Probably quicker this way. So if you want to unmute and ask any question, go ahead. And then if someone else is talking,
Hey, Roberto.
yes, sir.
You know, it was good, great presentation.
Thank you.
And you know, when you were going through you know, the platforms, there's one. Has anybody on the call used Pably? Do you have any opinion on Pably?
Pably. Um, Unfortunately, I'm not quite aware of this platform. How do you spell it? Pably?
Yeah, it's like an out of India.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's like a yearly subscription, or it's like a one-time
Yeah,
payment for like Zapier type of deal. Yeah, platforms
right.
like this, what they did is like the dream of what all developers. The dream is take what's open source and then take it to market and sell it. And that's what they
Right.
did. They took the code of Zapier, you know, like their open source, and they just said, "Hey, we're just going to open source it. We're going to make it free. We don't really care. It's open source, right? It doesn't matter. So why don't we just sell it for a lifetime fee? You know, and we'll cover the server cost, because the real cost in these platforms is just the API calls. There's really
Right.
no.
Has anybody on the call used Pably or I mean, look, we're right now using Make.com. We haven't really got too much into Zapier, but I know that you're big on Zapier, Roberto.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Zapier and I love Make.com, Go High Level. I love Relevance AI. I really like Langflow. There's like a lot of tools, honestly. And I really, really, I see it so important, guys, to really be knowledgeable about every tool, not just one, because you never know what feature, right? Because it's all about features nowadays. What feature is going to save you more time, right? There's always some things that are on some tools that you're like, oh, you know what, this one's $10 cheaper, right? But I would rather pay $10 more for a platform that gives me that extra step that saves me the time from having to do that step. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, always read the fine print. So here we got Daniel has a question here. So go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, hey, this is Daniel. So number one, I'm impressed with your topic knowledge. I've been doing this. I'm not going to say how old I am, but I've been doing this for a while.
Okay.
And the challenges that we had, I was actually in two startups here in Austin, and the challenges we had in the beginning was to have everything covered. And it was things like, if you code something, well, who does the QA for you? Can you bring a patch into the production and so on? And one of our early clients was AT&T. And we actually were making t-shirts because we went through 14 patches with them before we could actually put this into production, right? But overall, over all of these years, the sequence that I wrote there at 742, which is, you begin with a vendor catalog, somebody that has some sort of an offering that a company needs, right? And from that, you go to the next step, which is you create a contract with them. Then you have a requisition request
This is
to
your
make sure
workflow.
that, I'm sorry?
This is your workflow.
It's the workflow of the software, yeah. So the sequence is you have a vendor, you try to do a contract, you need to make sure that you're making money to actually pay for that stuff. And then your purchase order then enables your employees to do more stuff. So you create kind of a platform where the platform is costing you money on a daily basis, but the portfolio of your employees is then offsetting that cost. And so what I'm seeing with AI now is that AI is taking over the cost of the employees, actually. It's kind of sad, maybe eventually we're going to have universal income, but these agents, their automation. So above, my first comment on top was, originally these things were actually called well, there still are actually called, these are services that are running on Linux or Windows. That's a daemon that runs on Linux, and the service runs on Windows, and it's a set of decision-making tree that says, okay, if I have this condition, I'm going to go get or put data in a database and then retrieve that data at a later point or at the same time in parallel, and I'll make a decision of what I'm going to do with that. And in many cases, the result of it is some sort of a report that shows the financial impact on something within the organization. So 25 years ago, that was there's a company called, well, it's not really a company, it's an organization called the DMTF. It's a data management task force, and they define everything that you find within a business. So one thing that I'm seeing people do is that they don't even know that exists, and they start recreating sliced bread they start from scratch to define assets. And one thing that has happened over the years is that back roughly into 2000 or so, the asset classifications, they were going from even something stupid like a monitor or a mouse or a keyboard, all the way to something like a software server that was running Oracle or Microsoft server, whatever it was. And those came with a license, so from building out that model, you were able to actually deduce how much money that company is burning on daily basis or weekly basis or whatever it was. Then you gave that report to the CFO, and they would say, okay, well, this is what we owe to our stock.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Daniel, you're like in machine learning, correct?
Yeah. So one thing, that's machine learning at this point, it's a concept that people look at it and they don't really understand what it is, but it's really a set of logic, and machine learning, they understand as something that's interacting, machine interacts with another machine because you input code that says, based on these criteria, do this, right? But people are part of that as well.
I'm going to show you something. I think
Okay.
this will help you or even everyone in here. I recently met one of the founders of this company here called Tensor Stacks. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
This platform here is essentially AI agents where you basically give it the information, right, of your ID, your database, your cloud, and then you give the agent the information that you want done. Like, hey, create me this AI model, do this, and get this data from this SQL database, and then create the training data, everything. Like, it's so in depth, and there's things like that. I know what you're talking about. But this is one of the platforms that I'd suggest you kind of take a look into. Like here, you can see this is like a little example. They got train a model on Q2 Snowflake sales data, then deploy to Kubernetes with monitoring and scaling configs. And then it puts together all the different things that it normally would do, does it in the background. And then once it completes,
so I'm familiar with this actually. What I'm looking for is, when you get to the AI piece, and you were just saying that there's going to be a voice activated AI, you can just talk to it and it will do the things that I want, so let's say that I would just read off everything I wrote into the chat, and I say, hey, here's what I would like to create, and I feel that at this point in time, we should be able to create something that took us maybe 2 years to bring to market within a day, because we have
absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm putting that as a challenge. I want to do exactly what that sequence that workflow that I described. I'm still waiting for the template from your Make Foundation that you shared through LinkedIn, right? You were saying just type in, I think it was auto, right? You type auto.
Oh yeah, you most likely commented. Yeah. I'll send that over to you. It's actually in that link that is at the very end of our call. If you go to the website, looks like this. I'm assuming you guys can still see my screen here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So you can basically come here. Actually, it's probably easier if you here. You go to opt-in at the top, and it'll say download the no-code automation guide and all my automation setups. So this kind of gives them to you for what we're talking about. Let me pull up my Notion. I will show you what you're going to see once you enter the link.
Okay.
I'm going to be moving this actually because I'm not sure if anyone else has any other questions, but I'm going to showcase some other things here in a second. But this is kind of what it's going to look like. So at the bottom, you're going to see where it has the different meetings. So meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here I'm going to put meeting 6 and like an overview of what we talked about and some of the resources, the link to the PowerPoint, to the presentation. That way you guys can relook at it in the future. If you ever even have any suggestions, you can always message me on LinkedIn or Instagram, and be happy to look at it. But here at the bottom is kind of what you were looking for, I'm assuming, this one.
Yeah.
So it's down here, and then you'll find it, and it has the blueprint here for you.
Yeah, I'm building those out in Make, and it seems like with your work, I can get started much faster. You know,
Yeah, you can start it right away. That's
Yeah.
my point, is I want to make sure everyone understands this is the kind of things that you can get started like today, tomorrow. Like there's no reason to not get started. But anyways, with that being said, does anyone else have any questions?
Hey, Roberto, yeah, we got another question. With the,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
you mentioned in the presentation, um, the personalization of emails, right, being like fundamental and important. Have you run any cold email campaigns for
Yeah,
yourself
absolutely.
or for clients?
Yes, that is like my number one thing that I'm doing right now, actually. I'm setting up, I'll show you something. I'll show you an example because I don't like, how would you say, always explaining things, just talking about them. I would
Yep.
much rather show you guys like a use case. Like this is one of my clients here. Um, and one of the systems I put up, it's loading. We'll give it a second. Hold on a minute here. Looks like this. Uh, we have a LinkedIn message we send. I'm giving you guys an example. We have a message we send on LinkedIn. We give them a link to fill out a form, and this is for them to generate an assessment. So let's say for this specific use case, the user doesn't necessarily know their position in AI and how ready they are for AI. So this will generate a report, save the information, store the information, send them an email letting them know what their information was, right? And then add them into my client's CRM. From there, we're going to use that information to create a personalized email. So that information that they gave us from filling out the form, right? Now that we warmed up that lead, we're able to create an email hyper personalized about their business, their revenue, their ICP, everything. And we're able to run it through make.com, use ChatGPT, Anthropic, or whatever agent or assistant we want to use, save the email in Airtable, collect more information from Apollo or any other data enrichment sources, use that to then put inside of our CRM. And then we execute the campaign. We sync the emails with the email sending platform, which in this use case, my client uses Apollo or HubSpot, and we will send out the emails that way. And then we can track the engagement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But so this is more of the client is giving you the inputs. They're telling you about their business. But let's say it's a cold email.
Yeah,
Well,
even as
you
a cold email, that's what this section is for here.
right. So you're doing the cold email there. But my question is, like, for example, have you ever used clay.com?
Yeah, absolutely. This is like Clay. Like I rebuilt Clay
That
on.
was my question. That's my question. So you kind of are building something around clay, like the same type of functionality,
Well,
right?
you don't actually need Clay. Like Clay is great for people who aren't like super savvy into make.com or whatever, but because I was able to rebuild Clay. Like the way it works is just getting data enrichment platforms and being able to query that information and then using that into consideration for generating an email. So that's kind of what happens here. Using Apollo takes all the information from LinkedIn. So the website, how many employees they have, their most recent posts, how if they've hired somebody. There's a lot of information that you can get from a company's LinkedIn or even their personal LinkedIn. And you can use that information to generate a personalized email.
A lot of people on here are trying to, start automation agencies and trying to start businesses. And you did a service for me on Fiverr. Is Fiverr bringing in business for you, a lot of business? I mean, where you find, for us, what would be the best bucket to approach for new customers?
It's a
Would it
great
be cold
question.
emails? Would it be Fiverr? Would it be YouTube? On YouTube, we've got about, I don't know, we're getting up to like 45,000 subscribers now.
That's awesome.
But we haven't really done any direct marketing to them yet. But
I would
just
say
your thoughts. Your thoughts.
so. My thoughts would be, cold outreach is going to be very important because in the age of AI, like I was trying to explain today, it is extremely necessary to have outputs because now your outputs are quality outputs as well. And you're competing against people who are sending 10,000 emails a day. You know, there's people sending out 1,000 emails a day, even 500. And if you're just sending 20, you're not going to be at the top of the inbox like the person who's sending 1,000 or even 100. You see, so you have to set up the right systems to be able to do as much cold output as possible. But then to get the best leads, you need to have inbound. Okay. The best way I've been able to close clients, the best way I've been able to work with people is showing everything and how I do it and getting them to understand, hey, this is how it works. This is the result. And this is the process. We're able to do it, right? This is how it works. And once you're able to show that either on a video or in an email, that's really the most important, in my opinion, at this point. YouTube videos are 100% so valuable for this niche, which is why I'm going to be going even harder. I would like to use that word on my YouTube, if that makes sense. But as far as getting clients, definitely Fiverr is like, okay, I've probably done like 10 jobs on Fiverr, something like that. But I started, what, 2 months ago when we first worked together earlier. So it isn't like super crazy. I definitely don't like 100% recommend it. But if you're just starting out and you want to try to, you know, get your foot off the ground and dive into different use cases, definitely try out Fiverr. But if you want to get clients, you basically need to do videos showing what you're doing because nowadays people are on their phones scrolling. Like I mentioned, it's the output. You have to put out where everywhere that everything is. Everyone is outputting. And if you're not outputting, you're not going to be in their feed. They're never going to see you. And you can't just randomly text somebody, you know what I'm saying? And you can't just call somebody.
Are you suggesting that basically that output is automated and that's the goal?
That's the goal.
Okay.
Your output can be automated, like 99%. Like the 1% part that I leave for myself is getting on the camera and recording myself. Because here's the truth. I can already have the AI do that, but I purposely do that to remain authentic with everyone that I speak to. I don't want people to see me with an AI that's like just me like this, you know, moving my hands in a specific direction, always with the same background. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be able to tell eventually.
So
Biden video.
with the service that you mentioned that you did that the voice AI, what platforms did you use to build that for you know, that voice AI agent? Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't like really fully announced it yet, but that's a custom coded agent that me and a different team built. Now, as far as other tools that people can use, there are tools like Synthflow, there are tools like Vappy, there are tools like Air AI, there are tools like Voicer is what it's called. But overall, to get started, I definitely would recommend trying out Synthflow. It's probably the best platform. I'm going to have modules on building Synthflow agents. That is something really important I would like to mention inside my school community. Now it's going to bring me to this part. I want to announce to those of you who are in here, the ones who are still here, you guys are able to join the community for free for 30 days while I'm implementing and putting in all the different videos that I've recorded. Overall, I think this is going to be one of the most valuable communities on school in general, because I'm going to not only give away code to agents that are already built and blueprints, but I'm going to have a community of other like-minded individuals. For example, like you, Peter, like you come in here and we're all talking, we're all sharing agents, we're all sharing automations. Overall, we're going to help every single person in the community grow. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to have my AI automation in Austin. Okay. That is going to be the free community. That's for free people. Those people will be able to talk to me once a month, right? I'm going to have a meeting like this where it's once a month for AI automation in Austin. And I'm going to have a meeting in person downtown in Austin, Texas. And as far as school community, I'm going to be doing meetings here every single week on Thursdays. So here we'll be able to go over latest tools, anything new that I've learned. We're going to go through other workflows. You know, I'm basically going to go through an entire course over months and months of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this link inside of the chat to give you guys the opportunity to be the first people to join my community on school. And of course, Peter, I'm assuming we're gonna have another conversation after this. I do remember we had a conversation about this. So I would definitely send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'm open to talking to you about this a little further.
Sounds great.
What happens after the 30 days for school? What's going to happen? I'm going to send you guys an email, okay, Chris? And in that email, it's going to kind of explain the outlines of the group. And if you want to stay moving forward, what's going to happen? I'm going to be like completely transparent. I'm going to be charging for this community because we're going to be giving away the resources, okay? And step-by-step guides. Rather than the basic stuff, in my opinion, it's basic. In my opinion, it is, right? For the different automations and things. But I want to make sure that we can almost have a filter of those who are like, I'm 100% in. I want to be part of the AI and AGI revolution and implement as much automation as possible. I want everything. Those people, it's going to be either, I'm still fully deciding if whether or not I'm going to make it a weekly charge, or I'm going to have a lifetime charge, or I'm going to do it monthly. But for now, it's going to be a private group. And the only way people are going to be able to join is if they apply to join into the group when they hop in. I don't know if that fully makes sense, but there'll be something here. I'm putting together this post. I'm not sure if you guys can fully see it, but I'm recording a video where it's kind of going over what you're going to find first. I'll just kind of read it for those of you who are in here now. The second thing that's going to be important once you join in is introduce yourself in the comments with your background, experience, your biggest pain point with AI and automation, anything about your current systems, what value you think you can provide to others, and what value you're looking to receive from others. So this is very important because I'm going to be making sure we have the smartest people in here, those who want to grow. Those who want to grow will be here, I promise you. I'm not able to log into it. Anyone else? Oh, I think it has the about. I think it has about for some reason. Try this one. Try that one. Try that.
Which one?
I put another link there.
Oh, second one. Okay.
Yeah, try that one. But I just can you guys try joining in here real quick so I can accept all of you?
Oh yeah, that one works. Yep.
Yep, I just accepted Wade. So Wade should be in here. And of course, I'm not sure if everyone in this call has me on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, but definitely check me out on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm going to be talking and showcasing a lot about AI and automation, a lot of educational resources I'm going to give out. And I'm really excited to take this step forward in my business as far as helping educate others, as this has been something I've been doing for a while. And I feel like I haven't fully shared the maximum level of my expertise when it comes to agents and frameworks and machine learning, for example. Like I'm not just gonna give agents. I'm gonna show you guys everything from the basics, like what a neural network looks like, what a transformer AI model looks like, okay? Like from the very beginning. I need to make sure that everyone kind of gets it. And I'm going to also be talking about different custom agents. Like all the proprietary code that I build will be in here. That's what I want you guys to also just keep that in mind. That's what I'm going to be putting here. Now, I just opened this like earlier today. I have all the resources within my Go High level that I've been kind of organizing, putting together. But I'm still debating exactly how I want to put it in here. I'm just approving you guys. But I have this post that I just finished, and there is this form that you guys should probably fill out. It's connected to an AI, as you probably can imagine, where it's going to put together some documentation and all that fun stuff for me to be able to better help you and your journey here with us at OS Accelerator. So once I have the video up, for those of you who are in this call, you'll be able to see it. I'd probably say I'm going to record the video in like 35 minutes or so, just to kind of have that first post going, and then I'll make another video on Instagram and post it for tomorrow. See, there's about 10 people still in here. Is there anyone else still waiting to hop into the school community? You will have access to the resources for about 30 days before you get an email letting you know, hey, if you want to stay in the community, these are the steps you have to take. These are the terms. But other than that, yeah, I put the link inside the chat one more time. Does anyone else have any other questions they'd like to ask? Okay. Well, I guess with that being said, once again, thank you guys so much for your time coming in here. And I will be doing another one of these calls again. You're welcome, Jonathan. I will be doing another one of these calls again. I would probably say in about 2 weeks, just to kind of, I mean, in all honesty, and to most likely not necessarily promote, but to build awareness about the community. Because if you guys that are in here are going to be a part of this community, okay, like let's make sure we have the people in this community that actually want to learn and take that step forward and implement these tools, right? We don't want people to come into this community, look at the resources, and then leave. Like, we don't want them to just look. We want them to use them and implement them in their business, implement them in their personal life and their daily life. You know, there's going to be so much here that I have not fully gone over, but I'm really excited to showcase more about this community. So definitely stay tuned. I see I'm getting more people in here hopping in. And if you missed the link, when I close the meeting, it's okay. I will have it inside of the, whatchamacallit. I'm going to put it inside this thing. And this is something you're going to be able to get from going to the website. I'm going to put it at the bottom. And say, let's go. Let's put the link here. Copy this. Okay, hold on a minute. Perfect.
So Roberta, you decided to go with the finally with the school instead of the go high level.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I decided to go with the school.
Yep.
You start at, thanks for can you post images and ATX in here as well? Absolutely, Ian. When do you start at CF? Could you do me a favor and please clarify?
Capital Factory.
Capital Factory. Yes, sir. I did sign my agreement with them to go and be downtown. They told me later this month, that's coming up here in August. That's why I was mentioning probably 2 weeks, because they have to send me back a date. But I'm almost positive they're going to have that information in their website for when they allow it.
And this is on floor 16?
I don't know the floor. I don't think there's going to be a specific floor yet. I think it's going to start off with the bottom floor, the one that they have there. I think it's called something with a V. I could be wrong. Something like that. It's that one that when you walk into the Omni Hotel, it's the one on the right. It's like on the main floor. I think that's where it's going to be to start.
Okay.
Yep. But other than that, thank you guys so much for your time, and check out my latest YouTube video in about a day.
Okay. It's nice to meet you, man. Again, looking forward to the video that you did with the interviews last week. I don't know if you're gonna post it anywhere, if it's already been posted, but
Oh yeah, some of those videos I was still kind of like, how would you say, practicing. I'm trying to get it all down before it's fine-tuned. I mean, I have them privately. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fully like post them, just because they didn't fully come out like the best quality, you know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure I can give out the best
absolutely.
quality. So, but I don't mind posting them in the community. You see, like I was saying, I want to make sure we actually put something really tight together. And that's why I'm saying, like, you guys should be able to hop in for 30 days. I'm really looking for everybody's feedback on the content I'm going to be placing in here. I think that's going to be really important to always give feedback to each other. Think of it as we're not AI models. We're the masters of the AI models, and the AI models give feedback on other AI models. So therefore, we need to value our own feedback, because our human feedback is more important, in my opinion. Well, I think that's a fact. Our human feedback is more important than the AI's feedback. I think that should be like a standard thing, in my opinion, before all hell breaks loose with AI, huh?
Yeah, you should quote something from Isaac Asimov, you know, just to complete it. A robot should never harm a human.
Or a computer must never do a, what is it? A management task, something like that. Isn't there one like that? I think that's IBM's quote.
Yes, yes.
Let me find it.
The robot should do dirty work. Don't do the art for me, and don't write music for me because I want to do that, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna bounce, record some videos, and
Have a good one.
this will be on my YouTube channel if you want to rewatch all this.
Ciao, ciao.
See you guys.